the country whose title I've been so greatly privileged to bear during so much of my life and duty.
King Charles, a figure long associated with regal composure and decades of preparation for the throne, has shocked the world once again. Known for his poised demeanor and decades of public service, Charles has rarely shown vulnerability in public. But in a recent announcement, the king did something that no one expected. He broke down in tears, revealing the depth of his emotions as he shared news that stunned the entire globe. For years, the monarchy has been under intense scrutiny. Every speech, every gesture, every decision has been dissected by the media and the public alike. King Charles, now in his mid-70s, has carried this weight with a quiet strength, often appearing stoic in the face of unprecedented challenges. Yet, even the most disciplined leaders have moments when the weight of duty collides with the human heart. And Charles's emotional display proved just how deeply the responsibilities of his crown have affected him. The shocking revelation? Charles announced his decision to step back from a significant aspect of his royal duties, citing personal and emotional reasons. While the monarchy has weathered transitions before, this announcement was different, intimate, raw, and deeply human. I have given everything to serve, but there comes a time when one must step aside with dignity, he said, his voice trembling. This is one of the hardest decisions of my life. This moment has left citizens, royal watchers, and the world reeling. For the first time, the king himself appeared visibly overwhelmed, exposing a side that few have seen. A man not only bound by duty, but also by emotion, legacy, and love for his family and country. This is the story behind King Charles's tearful announcement, the reasons, the repercussions, and what it truly means for the future of the British monarchy. King Charles has long been seen as the embodiment of duty and tradition. For decades, he has prepared for the monarchy, navigating a life under the relentless scrutiny of the public eye. From his youth as the heir apparent to his decades of philanthropic work, every decision has been weighed, measured, and criticized. But now at 75, Charles has revealed a side rarely seen by the world, the man behind the crown, struggling under a weight few can imagine. In a recent announcement that left audiences stunned, Charles appeared emotional, breaking into tears as he shared news of stepping back from a significant part of his royal duties. It was a moment that starkly contrasted the stoic figure the public has known for decades. The king admitted that the constant pressure, coupled with the personal challenges he has faced over the years, had taken an emotional toll. I have dedicated my life to serving this country, Charles said, voice wavering. But the weight of responsibility, the scrutiny, and the personal sacrifices have grown heavier with each passing year. Behind the polished public image lies a man who has faced continuous personal and public challenges. The death of Princess Diana, complex family dynamics, and decades of criticism over his personal choices. Each of these experiences, while handled with restraint in public, left deep emotional scars. Over time, the cumulative pressure began to affect not just his ability to perform duties, but his mental and emotional well-being. Royal insiders reveal that Charles has struggled privately with anxiety and sleepless nights, often reflecting on whether his lifelong preparation for leadership had truly prepared him for the emotional reality of the role. Friends close to the king describe him as someone profoundly aware of the monarchy's responsibilities, yet acutely human, a man who feels deeply and bears the burdens of the crown in ways ordinary people cannot fathom. In the tearful announcement, Charles didn't just express fatigue. He conveyed a profound awareness of legacy. He spoke about the need for succession planning, for stability, and for ensuring that the monarchy continues to serve the nation effectively. By stepping back from certain duties, he hopes to balance personal well-being with the responsibilities that have defined his life. This revelation has stunned both the public and royal observers. The image of a king crying, openly expressing vulnerability, is one that challenges centuries of tradition. Yet it also serves as a reminder that behind the centuries-old institution lies human emotion, personal sacrifice, and a leader grappling with choices that affect millions. For Charles, This step isn't about weakness. It's about resilience. It's a recognition that the crown, while symbolic of authority and power, also carries immense personal cost. In his tearful moment, the world glimpsed not just a monarch, but a man confronting the reality of a lifetime dedicated to service. King Charles's tearful announcement didn't happen in isolation. It was the result of years of intense pressure, personal reflection, and an unrelenting sense of duty, not just to the monarchy, but to his family and the nation he serves. For decades, Charles has walked a delicate line, balancing the expectations of tradition, the scrutiny of the public, and the complicated dynamics within his own family. From his youth, Charles was acutely aware that his life would be anything but ordinary. Groomed to inherit the throne, he faced constant scrutiny, expected to behave with impeccable decorum, and to serve as a symbol of stability for the United Kingdom. While the public often saw the polished image of the heir apparent, behind closed doors, Charles bore the weight of personal sacrifices, relationships strained, personal desires set aside, and emotions suppressed to maintain the dignity of the crown. One of the most significant influences on his decision to step back is family. Over the years, tensions, controversies, and tragedies within the royal family, including the highly publicized breakdown of his marriage to Princess Diana and subsequent family disputes, have weighed heavily on him. Charles has consistently sought to protect his children and grandchildren while maintaining his own responsibilities, often putting personal needs second. These ongoing pressures, combined with the knowledge of his advancing age, made him realize that some duties needed to be delegated to ensure both the monarchy's stability and his family's well-being. "My family has always been my guiding light," Charles explained in his statement. "I want to ensure that they are supported and that the institution continues to thrive for future generations." The king's sense of duty extends beyond family. As a lifelong advocate for environmental causes, charitable organizations, and public service, Charles has spent decades championing initiatives that often required personal sacrifices. His work has demanded not just time, but emotional investment, resilience, and constant visibility, all while navigating the glare of media scrutiny. This dual responsibility, personal and public, created a tension that few can truly understand. Royal experts suggest that Charles's decision also reflects his desire to prepare the monarchy for the future. By stepping back from certain day-to-day obligations, he ensures that younger generations are given space to assume responsibility while he focuses on strategic guidance. It's a delicate balancing act, honoring tradition, respecting the institution, and simultaneously acknowledging his own human limitations. Emotional resilience and legacy are central to understanding Charles's choice. While some may interpret stepping back as weakness, insiders insist it demonstrates remarkable foresight and humility. The king is showing that leadership is not about personal endurance alone. It's about knowing when to delegate, when to reflect, and when to prioritize emotional well-being. In revealing this deeply personal decision publicly, Charles connected with the nation on a level rarely seen from a monarch. His tears were not just a display of vulnerability, they were a symbol of authenticity, a reminder that behind centuries of ceremony and protocol exists a human being confronting life's complexities. The announcement has sparked global conversation about the nature of leadership, the challenges of monarchy, and the personal sacrifices of those who bear such responsibilities. For Charles, it is both a personal release and a strategic step, demonstrating that even kings are human, and that leadership sometimes requires courage not just on the throne, but in acknowledging one's limits. King Charles's tearful announcement sent shockwaves across the globe. For decades, the monarchy has projected an image of unwavering composure, tradition, and authority. To see the king break down in public, revealing his emotional struggle and announcing his decision to step back from certain duties, was unprecedented. The response has been immediate, passionate, and divided, reflecting both admiration and skepticism from citizens, media, and royal watchers alike. In the United Kingdom, Social media erupted with a mixture of empathy, surprise, and debate. Many citizens praised the king for showing humanity, arguing that his tears were not a sign of weakness, but of authenticity. "It's a relief to see him as a human being," one Twitter user wrote. "Even kings have emotions, and Charles just reminded us of that." Supporters emphasized that leadership is not about hiding pain, but about facing it while making difficult decisions for the greater good. Global news outlets highlighted the rarity of such a public display of vulnerability from a monarch. Analysts noted that breaking protocol in this way could have significant implications for public perception. Yet many commentators celebrated the announcement, framing it as a modernizing moment for the monarchy, one that bridges the gap between centuries-old traditions and contemporary expectations of empathy and transparency. For the first time, a monarch has openly acknowledged the human cost of the crown, said one royal commentator. This may redefine how the monarchy is perceived for generations. However, the reaction hasn't been universally supportive. Some critics argue that displaying emotion publicly undermines the authority traditionally associated with the throne. They worry that such vulnerability could set a precedent, challenging centuries of royal decorum and the image of unshakable leadership. Debate has intensified over whether the announcement was a necessary personal disclosure or a break from royal protocol. Family dynamics also drew attention. Speculation emerged about the role of Queen Camilla, Prince William, and other members of the royal family in influencing or supporting the king's decision. Observers noted that the decision may reflect careful consideration of family legacy and succession planning, showing that Charles is balancing both personal and institutional priorities. Public reactions extended beyond the UK. In Commonwealth nations and around the world, citizens expressed fascination with the intimate glimpse into the monarch's humanity. Editorials and opinion pieces debated the implications for leadership, mental health, and the role of emotion in governance. Psychologists highlighted the positive impact of leaders openly expressing vulnerability, noting that it can encourage empathy and connection with the public. The king's announcement has sparked more than headlines. It has initiated a conversation about leadership in the modern age. In an era when emotional intelligence is increasingly valued, Charles's tears remind the world that strength isn't the absence of emotion, but the courage to confront and embrace it. For many, the announcement has humanized a figure often perceived as distant or untouchable. By sharing his struggles, Charles has demonstrated that even those in positions of immense power are not immune to the burdens of responsibility, grief, and emotional strain. His decision to step back from certain duties is not a retreat, but a strategic and compassionate acknowledgement of his limitations, a move that could redefine the monarchy's future. As global attention continues to focus on the royal family, one fact remains clear. King Charles's tears have left an indelible mark on public consciousness, challenging perceptions of monarchy, leadership, and the human experience itself. King Charles's emotional announcement has not only revealed his personal struggles, but also signaled a pivotal moment for the future of the British monarchy. By stepping back from certain royal duties, he is redefining what leadership looks like in the 21st century, one that balances tradition, public expectation, and personal well-being. The implications are significant, both for his family and for the institution he has dedicated his life to serving. For decades, the monarchy has relied on rigid structures and clear hierarchies. The sovereign's presence has symbolized stability, authority, and continuity. Yet Charles' decision shows a shift toward a more adaptable approach, one that acknowledges human limitations and emphasizes sustainability over rigid duty. By delegating responsibilities to younger members of the royal family, he is ensuring that the monarchy remains functional and relevant, while allowing himself the space to manage his health and emotions. Prince William and other heirs will likely take on more public-facing roles, attending official functions, managing initiatives, and engaging directly with communities. This transition will test the monarchy's adaptability, but it also presents an opportunity to modernize the institution without compromising its historical significance. Charles's choice demonstrates foresight, signaling that a monarchy must evolve to survive in a rapidly changing world. Leadership is not about doing everything yourself, Charles explained. It is about preparing others to carry the mantle while maintaining the integrity of the institution. Public reaction to this shift has been a mix of admiration and cautious optimism. Citizens see a monarch willing to confront vulnerability, make difficult decisions, and prioritize both personal and institutional health. Royal experts suggest that this moment may redefine how the public perceives the crown, no longer as an untouchable symbol of authority, but as a human institution led by individuals capable of emotion, reflection, and strategic thinking. The king's decision also highlights the evolving role of mental health and emotional resilience in leadership. By openly acknowledging his emotional state, Charles challenges outdated notions that leaders must be stoic at all times. This transparency may encourage other leaders and public figures to consider their own well-being while fulfilling professional obligations. Looking ahead, the monarchy faces both challenges and opportunities. On one hand, there is the risk that some traditionalists may view this change as a weakening of royal authority. On the other, the public is witnessing a more relatable and compassionate monarchy, one that could foster deeper trust and engagement. Charles's tears, once seen as vulnerability, now symbolize thoughtful leadership and foresight. Ultimately, King Charles's announcement is a turning point. It reflects a monarch who recognizes the personal cost of duty, embraces the necessity of delegation, and ensures that the institution he serves can thrive for generations to come. His courage in revealing his emotions sets a precedent, showing that even the most enduring symbols of tradition can evolve, adapt, and reflect the human experience. The crown is not just about power, Charles said. It is about service, responsibility, and legacy. And sometimes the most courageous act is to step back so that others can carry forward what we have built. This decision ensures that the British monarchy remains both relevant and resilient, demonstrating that even in centuries-old institutions, humanity, empathy, and foresight are the keys to enduring leadership. King Charles's tears, once shocking, may ultimately define his most impactful moment. A leader showing that true strength lies not in stoicism, but in wisdom, self-awareness, and the courage to prepare the next generation.